It's Sunday, February 23rd. I have all of your forecast details here. I'm Victoria Fenn Alvarado. Plenty of rain across the far west coast. I'll tell you how much more rain you could see in your forecast. Meanwhile, we watch this boundary that's sweeping across the north, making its way across the prairies, bringing with it some snow and some possible rain as well. Meanwhile, across southern Ontario, you could also see a couple flurries flying through the sky, and Atlantic Canada too. Here's a look at your temperatures first, because check out Alberta. Sunny skies in Edmonton and Calgary, 9 degrees in Calgary. You got up to 11 degrees on Saturday. A stunning weekend, and the next couple of days are also looking just as beautiful. As I mentioned, rainy conditions for those in Vancouver, Victoria, but you are in those double digits at 10 degrees across Vancouver. Meanwhile, in Saskatchewan, still holding on to some warmth there. 4 degrees in Saskatoon, 3 in Regina this afternoon. Winnipeg sitting at 2 degrees. Just be aware you could see a shower today. You can thank all these warm conditions for this offshore flow, these Chinook winds really helping to protect you across the west. But just keep in mind, those winds are fairly gusty. Over 50, 60 kilometers an hour through Cranbrook, Calgary, anywhere along the southwest. Just be aware that if you are traveling, that those conditions could blow you around a little. So just hold on to your steering wheel very tight. But your temperatures staying above the freezing mark for at least the next couple of days in Edmonton, Calgary, Regina, and Winnipeg, which is such a nice change from last weekend when we were watching those minus 30s, minus 40 wind chills, right? Take a look at your conditions for the next couple of days. 3 degrees even on your Wednesday in Edmonton, and double digits for those in Calgary on Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's a look at some of the precipitation that we are monitoring. Along this boundary, you could see some snow just around that Fort McMurray area, but just under this boundary here, that's where we could see a transition to rain. Meanwhile, you could also see some rain further south of Saskatchewan as that moves a little bit further south. Monday afternoon, Medicine Hat, Assiniboia, you could also see some showers. And speaking of rain, plenty of moisture along the west coast as we have not just 1, 2, but we have 3 rounds of rain. You already saw 1 round of rain yesterday in Vancouver. That brought upwards of 30 millimeters, I should say. You could see a little bit more, especially the next 7 days, as it's looking quite soggy in Vancouver. Here's a look at how much rain you could see. Tofino, upwards of 50 millimeters still left to fall. Vancouver, you still have another 30 millimeters left to fall, so by the end of this whole system, it's looking like 60 millimeters would have fallen. Here's the next burst of rain, and then another burst of rain on your Monday. So Sunday evening, burst of rain. Monday throughout the day, another burst of rain before you get a little bit of a clearing on Wednesday. Keep in mind, those winds are fairly gusty, especially along the Straits, 91 kilometers an hour through Victoria on your Monday evening, alongside all of that rain. Meanwhile, on the east, I did mention you could see some flakes flying through the sky. You could see some flurries here across the Maritimes, not much accumulation, but this would be accumulation for those across the Nickel Belt, that snow belt in Ontario. That eventually makes its way through Quebec, Saguenay, and Ottawa, Montreal, Kingston, looking more like a rain event. Well, Quebec would see most of the bulk of that snow. Again, upwards of 5 to 10 centimeters. I want to show you how much snow you could see. Here it is, 5 to 10 centimeters through Quebec, 5 to 15 centimeters through Chapleau and Timmins. Here's a look at the next 7 days in Montreal. You finally get some warmth. 4 degrees on Tuesday, but you could deal with some showers. Here's a look at your temperatures this afternoon across the east. Below the freezing mark in southern Ontario and Charlottetown, but you're above the freezing mark in Halifax. And I want to jump ahead to Monday. Check out these temperatures. Warm conditions, finally.